Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Funk Thinking, right out here in my lab. I'm in the book. I'm going to talk about relationships with God and others. Let's go. Right, isn't 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? Well, when I'm through, that's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them up. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers know thyself and to my eye be true. All right, right thinkers. P Funk philosophy on relationships. Let's talk about it. We tend to put more responsibility on the other person when we're in a relationship. Relationship is you playing your role, you doing what you're supposed to do. Let's talk about it. It should be clear that by now, you the reader, that he or she is not, you are not your body. You know that already. Okay. But the mind, sense, nor the ego personality, you are who your ego think it is, okay? But the ego thinks he's all that. You're not really all that, okay? But you really are, okay? Further, it must be clear that the world, as our senses perceive it, is not what it appears to be. I'll be saying that over and over again. This is the illusion, at least intellectually. All right. You must by now understand that what your true identity is spirit. True. We are spirit beings having a human experience. The human is the body, the physical body. What's inside the body is spiritual, untouchable, undieable. Understand that. So when you identify with your true spirit, which is neither male or female, ain't no sex in heaven. Oh, I just blew everybody's mind. I gave this a while ago. Everybody freaked out. No, the spirit don't need to reproduce. In heaven, there's no reproduction. There's no generation. That's in this physical realm. That's why we got to be discerning. Our sex got to be male or female for us to interact and create life. Moving on. All right. But your spirit neither male or female. So therefore, what is the nature of relationships? Let's get to that right there. In this physical form. Exchange pleasure? No. Grow together? No. Okay. The physical form, and what is the nature of your physical in the physical form? What is there? What's the purpose of relationships in this physical form? Let's talk about it. And one, you must understand that your relationship first and foremost should be with, okay, not your mother, not your father, not your wife, sister, but no, God first. That's a spirit entity that we got to pay homage and respect to because that's who created us. Okay, we know He created us, so yeah. But the first relationship you have is with God. But in your individual self, your ego is the first relationship it has with itself. Okay, so God is one's higher self, one's true self. Again, that's the spirit self, and it places one in situations. And relationships that's based on your own you misconnect, which is your karma. What you put out, you're going to get back. In relationship of any kind, it's going to work no matter what. WRIGHT. That means whatever action you do, there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction. Science. Okay. But you got to live your karmic identity. And you are in control of all your desires. When the ego desires things of the flesh and you give in, you are egotistical. Moving on. Thus, now it is your very own conscious, your ego self, that will draw one's relationships to one. They say you don't attract what you like, what you want. No, you attract like attracts like. If you keep picking the wrong man, fellas, or the wrong woman, don't blame them. Look at you. You the common denominator. So instead of look outward, most of us ignorant people look out first. They don't look inward. They look out. They see everybody else's what's going on everywhere except themselves. That's why they know everything about everybody except themselves. When the true goal is to know thyself. When you have knowledge of self, whatever relationship you get involved in, you're going to handle it at the best ability. Now, that consciousness changes and evolves, so too will your relationships and your karmic destiny. You are in control of you. What happens to you, what goes on, all that is maintained and controlled by you. So the sooner we teach our young people that, to be responsible for what they say and do, they'll be rewarded when they do the right thing, they'll be punished for the wrong thing. What happened to that? Thus, now, our destiny is not. So, okay, your destiny ain't predestined. They can't tell you you were born to do this. Stop that. Stop that. You wouldn't have freedom of choice if that was the case. If your destiny's already planned, like I asked God, if I was destined to do this, I don't have to go through all that nonsense. That's how you got here. So it wasn't predestined. If you do those things, it leads you here. Self-mastery is a journey that you have to reach for yourself in this life, in the physical world. That's what it's all about. So now, your destiny is not predetermined. Why? Rather, you created every moment of your life, and every day you control and you set for your own karmic destiny. Live right, do right, be right, like Mr. Right, and you'll be fine. Now, in coming into this physical realm and vivifying matter, spirit with matter makes human beings. Okay? Either one, without either one, you got spirit, then you got the body. The body don't exist. It ain't vivified by what? By the spirit. Spirit vivifies, gives life. Okay. So, in this realm of vivifying matter, your physical body, the spirit gains its human experience. Again, pay attention, this is the part. Through what? Various life situations in the process that we call living. We're born young, we age as we go, year by year, we get older. But these are life lessons you can learn on a day-to-day basis. And the older you get, the wiser you should get. Not the dumber. We're born dumb, we're born ignorant. You shouldn't grow old still being ignorant of yourself. That's my philosophy. But the spirit, again, is continuously what? Striving to evolve to what? To be able to return to its original state of oneness. We call it in the physical form Hotep, supreme peace. When you become one with God, you are at peace with everything else in the world. When you lose that, when you come into the physical world, and now when your spirit becomes attached to the physical world, the ego is in control. Now the ego is driving the car. Your job is to get the ego from behind the damn wheel, okay, before he tear your car up. Depending on what car you like, you might not want nobody. I love driving my car. I want nobody driving my car. No. I learned that from that guy. So yeah, some things you learn, and okay, now it's mine. My son never drove my car. Moving on, okay? But again, ownership, that's mine. But certain things you take control over. And the cars and one vehicles one we take care of personally. But the problem in here arises when your mind, you believe itself to be what? Separate entity from others, and develop what we call the ego mind. The ego is all about the I and the me. not the am in us. Okay, that's what holds a lot of us back. And then we get stuck on the ego. Moving on. But in forgetting itself, the spirit, in forgetting itself, the spirit searches for that unity to become one with God again. But if the conscious of the spirit, the body the spirit is in, if the conscious ain't willing and ain't connecting with it, it can't go home. It's still lost. It's still wandering, looking for a body, and gonna have to come back to a new birth and start all over again. We call it reincarnation, or some people call it the cycle of life. So the spirit is always searching for unity with the oneness. The spirit can obtain that through practice of Maya, the Tao, the Vedanta philosophies. But in believing what the mind tells it through what it senses, the physical body, the spirit, the soul now identifies itself with that information, thinking that all it is. And now it begins to search for unity and oneness in the way that the limited senses and the mind have convinced it to in search. It's going to fail. Why? Childhood is an important period in helping develop one's senses. The five senses: touch, smell, sight, hearing, touching, and tasting. The five senses. That's how the brain gets information from the body. But when the brain does what it does, it don't need the body. Okay, the spirit and the brain become one, heart, mind, coherence. The body is just a reasoning facsimile to get you where you want to go. So that way, when it's over, you going home. Okay, this is the tomb or the temple, your choice. All right, but when you identify with the senses, and when you do it correctly, and you have correct understanding from daily studying, reflecting, and meditating about the nature of reality, you get a full understanding. Now your ego personality will develop desires, and it will conjure up ideas as to how to achieve what its own fulfillment for those desires that it has for the flesh and the physical and the material world. Desires fulfillment is a two-type deal. You got the ignorant and you got the wise. Pay attention. The ignorant desires are from the desire fulfillment is based on what? The erroneous, the wrong understanding of nature and the wrong understanding of one's desires and the way to resolve them. Get horny? Go have sex. That's what most people do. You get horny, you think of something else, you change the program, change the channel, so to speak, change the mode, change the mindset. You don't have to, every thought that comes to the mind, you ain't got to act on it. That's where self-control comes in at. So when all your desires is ignorant, they arise from what? The need to just regain a feeling of what? Infinite bliss. It's looking for pleasures. It's looking to be happy. It's looking to just be rewarded with satisfaction of the flesh, which comes from what? The next level, the right thinker, well, it comes from when you achieve unity, what? With the Supreme Being and achieve what we call Hotep. Again, supreme peace within oneself. Thus, you now, with the wise form, your desires is desires to what? Attain enlightenment. Due to identification with the mind and the body, we search for fulfillment, bliss, aka Hotep, by trying, listen to this, the ego, satisfy the desires which arise in our mind and body. Again, the thought, and now you want to act on it. Thoughts only become action or manifest when you put it into action. Okay? Thought, emotion, action. They all come together to make it happen. That's manifestation, okay, or creation. But when you not understanding that your mind and body are only instruments that are to be controlled by the mind, not the ego. So when your spirit-based desires for unity becomes confused when the heart and mind ain't on the same page. That's confusion. That's Harut and Set at war. Carried on for 80 years. Okay? They was going back and forth a long time. And that's the moral fight that goes on inside every human being. That's the whole body story. So universal story. What? Everybody got to go through it. Simple. And with your physical body senses, desires of the ego, all it wants to do is be satisfied. And it never will be. Why? It's going to want more. If it's good, I want more. If I can't get it, I got to have it. So it's going to do things that may not be right and good to what? Reach the pleasures of the flesh itself. But it searches for your spirit, searches for unity by establishing intimate relationship with God. There you go, right there. Your God, your relationship with God should be intimate. Not your wife, intimacy with God, meaning y'all having a spiritual connection, not a physical one. With other individuals, even when you establish an intimate relationship with God and even with other individuals, we become happy. Why? Because the performance of what? The sense-based activities temporarily allow us to release tension, pleasures, orgasm, and also of the mind, not just physical, but mind goes along with it. But this is temporary. That temporary release of mental and physical tension or agitation is movement toward the illusion of what? Peace. Why? Because once the tension has built back up, the desire that you have, you had an orgasm 5 minutes later, I'm ready to go again. The body ain't ready, but you ready. The mind, let's do that again. Let's go again. Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier, let's do it again. Anything that's good feels or tastes like what? More. You want more of it. Somebody said, how did it taste? Like more. All right. But when that feeling builds back up, and it's going to, we must now again seek situations that will provide that same pleasure and release that sometimes this is attained through. Some people get joy out of watching TV, television. Some get find joy in eating, so they end up overeating. Some like smoking, so smoking, drinking, shopping, sexual activities, drugs. All these are the same thing. You give it into pleasures of the flesh. That's all it is. That's the ego. That's what he's telling you. When these things are running you, you're not living right. Your ego is in control. You have no discipline, no wherewithal not to do what you know is wrong. That's never going to end well for you. So, for some, when that frustration level builds beyond their capability or their ability to cope, what happened? Now they attempt suicide. When they think they can't get nothing else, life is over, they're going to take their life. Everybody committed suicide. Didn't know why, didn't know how, but I wish I'd have been around. Maybe I could have helped him out. You wonder, well, maybe I could have done something different. He made that decision, okay? But that's because in his mind, that's what he wanted to do. The mind is stronger than the body, okay? If you ever had a wet dream, that tells you the mind runs the body, okay? So if your thoughts of killing yourself, taking your life, is not addressed, not dealt with psychologically with some help and some outside help, you're going to end up killing yourself. Moving on. And that's because you didn't give up on life, or life just seemed like it ain't working out for you, whatever. But that's never the answer. Why? They're coming back. So, again, if you commit suicide, you die ignorant. Don't make a difference, you're coming back. How you die? Don't care. Death don't give a damn. Okay? It's just a phase of life. So, ignorant people, they die, they reincarnate. Enlightened people die, they go home. Simple fact. So, those people who attempt suicide, or if they perceive someone is a threat to their happiness, things that they want, what people do? I'll kill you for you destroy my life. Take my money. Okay, you know them kind of people? Yeah, that's the ego. Okay, is to do anything to hold on to what it has. And watch this. If you become a threat to their happiness, or if they harbor deep resentment towards someone from the from the present lifetime, or even a previous one, what happened? They may become violent with that person, even to the point of murder, since this type of activity is based on an erroneous misunderstanding. The desires were never truly met. Their desires were never truly met, and thereby reinforced again and again, causing an endless cycle that's based on their own ignorance of self. So the peace, release of tension we experience is only a glimpse of what is waiting for us on the enlightened state of mind. Becoming enlightened just means you see things better, you understand things better, and you're doing better for yourself. Because you're enlightened. Now you're not ignorant. That's the difference. An ignorant person don't know it's ignorant. Okay, so you got to deal with them for who they are. And now, watch this. For these reasons, correct and right understanding of reality and of one's true identity is essential. That's the goal for all right thinkers. And you conquering your ego, your lower self, one's physical sense and desires, in order to now determine your true needs of the soul. It should connect with his consciousness. You got to be conscious. The heart and mind got to make that connection. So now your soul needs to be what? Expanded beyond the confines of the physical body. Family relationship, brother and sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, and all physical world, from this position of freedom, it experiences true peace. When you're not concerned with somebody else, what they're doing, ain't doing, when your focus is on you doing everything you need to do, now you're at peace. An agitated mind will never reach that level within his own self. And when you experience true peace and fulfillment from which you can now operate and have the most effectiveness in your daily life and peacefully. You don't argue, fuss, or fight. You do the things you need to do. And you're comfortable on all realms. You become Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great. You're great in the physical waking state. You're great in the unconscious sleeping state. And you're great in the subconscious state. Okay? Those are the three levels that you need to master for yourself. So therefore, all relationships that you involve in, including marriage and family, they are good to an extent that they assist you in helping achieving your lofty goal of what? Self-discovery or to know thyself. If it's a hindrance, let it go. If it's going to hold you back, that's the anvil and the balloon concept. The anvil will hold the balloon down. Once you cut that cord to the anvil, the balloon can soar. That's the concept. All right. Your spirit is recognized by the falcon for that reason. It can ascend. So every life situation, be it good or bad, is a potential source of what? Fulfillment and dispassion, detachment, study, reflecting, and daily meditation, along with gaining wisdom, orientated participation in this practical world are the ways for you to achieve supreme fulfillment, aka Hotep, supreme peace. You must cultivate dispassionate love, giving without expecting. We call it selfless service. I'm doing that now. I'm giving you something. I don't expect nothing in return for you but to tune in and get the lesson that you can learn from me. Nothing else. Okay? So, and without expecting something in return. A giver gives. They tell you, God blesses the cheerful giver. A lot of y'all give out of, because you have to. But that's not a cheerful giver. You should give without no concern. None of that. That's the difference. And God knows your heart. He knows if you're a cheerful giver or not. So again, but this provides you with the joy of what? Peace within oneself. That cannot come from possessive, ego-based things, materialistic things. That don't bring you peace. And loving, which leaves you open for what? The pain of disappointment. One's own maturity and spiritual insight must guide one in deciding which relationships to engage in. Your choice. I don't have no friends. Why? I'm tired of having useless relationships. One-way relationship or a bad relationship. I'd rather not have none. Simple. That's why I have none. So when you be able to decide with knowledge of self and your own intuitive knowledge, you will be able to know which relationships to engage in and to maintain. Some you got to give up. No, why? It ain't benefiting you. It's not prosperous for you. It's holding you back. Cut the cord. It's the anvil. Anything that don't serve you, anything that ain't good for you, consider it the anvil. You're the balloon. You got to cut the cord. That's all. But you got to do it. And when you practice, watch this. When you practice Mayat, balance, and Tahuti, right thinking, Those are the best guides. Those are my favorite too. Over 30 years I've been loving them guys. There people, some guys say they was married. No. Tahuti has a wife, Sashet. Maya has no mate. Simple. Her opposite is Isfat, which is chaos. She represents order, he represents chaos. Chaos don't stand in Maya's world. Why? She stomps that out. That's why you got to take care of your ego the same way. Put it under your foot and let it work for you when they need to. Let me wrap this up for you. Although seemingly selfish venture to do you. No, you need to do that. Self-preservation first, lower man. Don't take it personal. Have your relationship with God, and then you can do whatever else you want to do. Passage phrase in Matthew 25:6 something where it tells you, find the kingdom of God first, and everything else will be given to you. I understand that. So yeah, we just had that lesson. So, but it's all up to you. You are the deciding factor. And watch this. Although seemingly selfish venture when you're doing you, that pursuit of enlightenment should be personal. And it is. Why? It's a one-man thing. It's the most selfless, obtaining enlightenment for yourself is the most selfless process which one can engage in. Why? Because if you develop the qualities necessary for you to achieve your covenant goal of what? Reaching Niha, to know thyself, Horsehood, Christhood, whatever you want to call it, Navarna, Moksha, Mukti, whatever. But you, that's the covenant goal for all human beings, more especially right thinkers. Why? All who come into contact with that person will benefit in relationship. Anybody who hang out with God benefits. Everybody. And since all, not some, not just black, all human beings are in reality just one of the supreme being, expressions of one of the supreme being, and understand that that's why we are individual parts of God. Like the hologram. Any part of the hologram will have the whole picture. Okay? So any individual still got the whole picture of God in them. That's the concept. Okay? Little fraction, they got whole thing in there. So whatever part of the human person, they all got God in them. So let's understand. The supreme being, the best thing an individual, human being, can do is to free him or herself from the grips of Apophis and Set. Feelings of selflessness, machismo, feminism, and immorality, hate, sadness, sexism, racism, etc. These are all negative connotations, and it's all based on your ego or Apophis, which is the king of chaos. Okay? That's darkness. Apophis wanted to shut Ra's light down. That's why they got the constant fight. We got night and day for that purpose. So, again, these are all mental conditions that arise from the ego ignorant person. These are all the qualities that they're going to practice. He's right on point. Everyone they said, I got perfect examples. Okay, so as each individual is saved, how? By him or herself. I just gave a lesson. Be your hero. On the hero's journey, that's you on your life journey to what? Find yourself. Be the hero. Do it. Get it done. And every individual that saved himself, the world is just one step closer to what? Their salvation. Going home. Therefore, doing one's best and then relinquishing what? The rest. To netter is a performed course. What you don't control, you give it to God. You give your best shot. But when you no longer got control, I just made that point, improved it to myself, gave a testimony. I wanted to go to my pastor's surprise birthday party. Financially wasn't right, end of the month situation, just wasn't in my favor. I had no money, broke. Can't go. I made that decision in my mind. Okay, I just had to live with it. Lo and behold, bam, I got money. I went, enjoyed it, and I gave it all to him. I laugh at my pastor when he gets blessings. We get blessed every day. We that's normal. But when you get that that good one, you have to let everybody know, yeah, I got mine. I testify. Why? Let them know. That's how God work in me. When you're living right, you get those blessings. That's what I'm going to tell you. And yeah, you got to let other people know that. Why? It can inspire and motivate somebody else who don't believe in God. And God, he never did nothing for me. I never, I guess, again, ignorance. But in any relationship, in all relationships, as any other area of life, in anybody you partake in, the keys to any good relationship on your part, you should have honesty, patience, and dispassionate love. Why? Take yourself out of the situation and you can deal with them accordingly. Don't get involved with it emotionally. As one who aspires to achieve their greatest goal in life, you must realize that the road is full of obstacles and daily challenges. Are you up for it? When you got knowledge of self, you up to achieve any situation. You handle yourself accordingly. Why? You know yourself. So, relationships, I got 4 of them. Relationships need to be prioritized. Okay? 4 of them. Let me put them in perspective for you right quick. I'm going to wrap it up. Number 1 relationship, what I tell you, that one with him. Okay? When you become personal, intimate with God, you're doing the right thing. Why? You hold yourself accountable to what? To impress God, to worship and serve him, what? In earnest, by what? Good deed and righteous living. Relationships with God comes first. I ain't a preacher. Okay, that's a fact. I'm a spiritual philosopher. I can tell you the fact that your relationship should start with God. I'll tell you that before we start the show. One cannot have a higher level of interactions if one is spiritually ignorant. You can't be God conscious and ignorant. One or the other. Okay, a lot of people ignorant. So when you discover for yourself your connection with God, that universal bond, now your purpose in life will become clear to you. I told you, I asked God, if this is my calling, I got 10 years in teaching my philosophy. And what I went through to get here, around, a long way around, but I got here. And I asked God, if this was my calling, what other nonsense for it? No, that was just what? Your audition. That was your resume. You passed. You got the job. I'm good to go. If God gave me the okay, in my mind, you can't tell me jack. I gotta use this phrase. I don't like to cuss. A team of wild motherfuckers couldn't get me from God and what I'm doing, my right thinking philosophy. So let you know that I got to make that point. And from that point, once you wake up and realize who you are, you become conscious. From that point on, all your relationships, all other relationships outside of God will occur in a harmony with this paramount priority, what you doing you and understanding God first. Otherwise, your life situations will always seem to be adverse, always bad, always contradictory with one's deeper feelings, and always putting you in a negative position. Why? Because you've been led by your ego. And your relationship with God is not priority. Your relationship with things, stuff, and people is not God. God should be first. If he ain't first, you will have a problem. And it's all what? All to be contradictions with one's deeper feelings, and it will lead to constant mental unrest. That's the point I'm trying to make. If you ain't got God, if God ain't first, you got problems. Call Houston. Why? You got a problem continuously. Number 2, relationship to a partner. Your partners is who they are. Your job as the partner is to hold your job, hold your partner's situation down. Okay, play your role. Men, be a man. Okay, women, be women. Okay, but the relationship with a partner, they'll have boundaries and understanding and respect. If there's no respect in relationship, there's no relationship. If you got respect for one another, y'all have nothing. Moving on, relationship, marriage don't make a difference. When there's no respect, you got nothing. So, relationship with family members. Just because you're my brother, that's all. If we have differences in life and opinion, that's fine. That's okay. You still my brother. What you think and how you live don't change you being my brother or my sister. My brother and sister. One's a Jehovah, one's a Muslim. They're still my brother and sister. Still love them. And if what they practice it, working for them, I'm just as happy. So we get along fine now. Why? We all doing us. My mom happy. Why? Look at my kids doing them. That's what she raised us to be, individual. We ain't all doing the same thing. We all come from the same place, but we all do different stuff. That's understandable. That's God's creed for every individual to be what? Themselves. The goal in this physical world is to know yourself. You're going to be yourself. You should take time to learn and know yourself. Let me wrap it up. I see the cloud. Yeah, I don't care. Let me do this. I'm almost home. Now, last one. Relationships to other members that's in society. Those are people you choose to associate with. I have none. Facebook, whatever, but no, I have no friends. So I ain't got a problem with that, not a bit. I got associates, I got people I know, but friends, no. Not one, my pastor. He said the same thing. I got one, but right. We feed off each other. We bounce off each other. Iron sharp as iron. I'm sharp as a tack. So is he. So we must be doing something right. Let me wrap it up. I told you we're God's eye couple. All right. I'm Oscar. But finally, for one's own peace of mind, and this is what it's all about, for your peace of mind, you must realize that since most of your relationships occur in the area of your personal ego, personality. Why? Most people you deal with are going to be ignorant, and you're going to have to deal with them on the ego level. And all the karmitical based absolute honesty and truth is not always possible despite one's best effort of the individual. Everybody got a reason why I feel sure, I feel all this, no. But personal conflicts are bound to arise in life, but it's all about how you deal with them. You don't control the situation, you just control you doing the situation. And if you're the one causing the situation, then you got a problem. The most important factor is how you and those conflicts are handled by you. Some you start, some you don't. But it's still based on how you handle them. You got to acquiesce and deal with them in achieving true unity, becoming one with God, harmony in any relationship cannot occur if what? The conscience of those who are involved, meaning you and the other person. You can't speak for them. All you can do is speak for you. And once y'all involved remain in an egotistical level, that's like the blind leading the blind. You got two ignorant people, you're going to have confrontation. Oh, it's going to be confrontation. Oh, male egos. Yeah, the ego and alpha, they're not going together. Watch this. A consciousness which is directed by your higher reality, seeing things the way they really are, third eye vision, okay, spiritual. That's the absolute truth. And the practice of Mayat, aka right thinking philosophy, and the Tao, Nirvana, Christ consciousness, etc., all these fall in the same heading, okay? Knowing thyself is required. Then what? All of your glory and the beauty which exists above may now be brought down and have the experience, human experience below as well. Again, as above, so below. So then your soul and the matter, which is the body, which they vivify, can now commune as one. That's the pin dropper. My goal is to get your soul and your consciousness to function as one. Why? Everything comes from the one. And you want to go back? That's what you're going back to, becoming one with the one. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Right thinkers, I got to go. I know it took a while, but you know how I do. Hope you enjoyed the lesson too. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles today. So I've never known my right thinkers, so now I have a better understanding about relationships that passed away. I'll be right back. I got more.